Hello everyone. Today we are going to see a very interesting SQL interview question, first transaction. Let's get into the problem statement. Assume that you are given a table below on the user transaction. Write a query to obtain the list of customers whose first transaction is greater than $50 or more. Output the number of users. Your input is you are given a user transaction table which has transaction ID, user ID, the amount spent and the transaction date. So your output should be the number of users whose first transaction is greater than $50. If you analyze this data set, the user ID 111, he has done two transactions. One on 223 and the other one on 315. So the first transaction is on 23, which is less than $50. He has done the transaction for 49.5, which is less than $50. So we should not consider 111 in our output. If you see the user ID 156, he has done three transactions. So two transactions on 44 and one transaction on 416. The first transaction is greater than $50. So we should consider 156 in our output. If you see 180, this user has done two transactions on 325 and 628. So the first transaction is on 325, which is greater than $50. So we should consider this a user in our output. If you see the user ID 268, he has done two transactions. The first transaction is on 228, which is a first transaction and it is greater than $50. So in this result set, we have three users whose output, whose first transaction is greater than $50. So our output should be 3. So hope the problem is clear. Let's get into the solution. I'm going to solve this problem using three different approaches. The first approach is using the row number function. The second approach is using the rank function. And the third approach is using the first value function. First, let's solve this problem using the row number function. The row number assigns a sequence number for each row within the partition of the result set. So this is the syntax of the row number function. It has a partition class and an order by class. The partition class is an optional class and the row order by class is a mandatory class. So let's solve this problem using the row number function. I have given the create and the insert script in the description so that you can try to solve the problem on your own. So here is our data set. Let's try to solve this problem. So in the first approach, I need the user ID, amount spent, the transaction date, and I'm going to use the row number window function to partition the result. Row number over partition by user ID, order by transaction date. I'm going to alias this as row number RN. Let's try to run this query. Okay, so if you see here, for each user, based on the transaction date, I have added the row number. Now Let's create this as a temporary table and we can do the remaining steps. I'm going to create this as transactions table with transactions as this temporary table. So let me select this table, select asterisk from transactions. Let's put transactions. Okay. Now let me run this query. Okay. Now I need the total number of users. So I'm going to have count star where spend greater than $50 and the row number should be always 1. So if you run this, I get the result 3. So this is the first approach. The second approach is using the rank function. The rank function assigns the rank for each partition of the result set. The syntax is rank over partition class and order by class. Similar to the row number function, the partition class is an optional and the order by class is a mandatory class. Now let's try to solve the same problem using the rank function. So instead of row number function, I'm going to use the rank function. And let's see how the data looks like. So I have assigned the rank for each user based on the transaction date. Now I'm going to add these two filter conditions and see how many users we are seeing. So we are seeing 3 users who spent more than $50 in their first transaction. So now to populate the count, I'm going to use the count function and use the distinct to display the distinct user ID. So let's run this query. Here we go. This is the result. The third approach is using the first value function. This function populates the first value of the result set. Here is the syntax. First value, we have to mention the column based on which column we are selecting the first value, order by, partition class and the order by class. The partition class is an optional class. Order by class is a mandatory class. Now let's try to solve the same problem using the first value function. So I'm going to use the first value function instead of rank function. Here I have to mention based on what column I'm going to populate the first value. So in our case it is based on the spend amount. I'm going to alias this as first value. So I don't have to explicitly mention rn equal to 1 because this function itself will populate only the first value. So let me get rid of that. Here I am going to mention first value is greater than $50. Let's run this. Here we go. This is the third solution. Thank you for watching this video. If you have a better solution, please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please consider subscribe, like, share and comment. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.